Hi, this is Mike. I'm an adventurer and a dad, and today we're rolling with Harry, and we're going to talk about fridges and coolers for overlanding and camping. Here he is now.
Yo, Mike, sorry I'm late. I had to stop for ice.
All right, so it's the start of camping season, and I know you're all going out there and staying safe and having fun, far away from everybody. But wherever you go and whatever you do, you're gonna need to bring some food with you. And at least some of that food is gonna need to be cold. So today, we're with Harry and we're gonna be talking about coolers and fridges. So this is my friend Harry Wagner, who you've seen on this channel before. He's an off-road journalist and he spent a lot of time on the trail. So I'm going to show you some of the coolers that I've used, and Harry's going to talk about some of the 12-volt fridges that he's used over the years and what he likes best, and help you figure out what might be right for you. So most people just use a regular cooler before they graduate up to a fridge because they're cheap, they're light, they come in lots of sizes, they're easy to maintain, and really they're pretty effective for what we need them for. For our family of 4, we generally need 2 coolers for most trips, but for our main cooler we use this Coleman Extreme for the last couple of years. And it comes in several sizes. This is the 65 quart version, and it costs about $120, and it keeps ice cold reliably for about 5 days, and it's worked really well for us on trips like our Mojave Road adventure and our Death Valley tour. So there are a couple things that can help you sort of get the most out of a cooler like this. The first is I always use frozen water bottles like this as ice instead of cubed ice, at least for the first part of the trip before these melt. For a number of reasons. Number one, the larger ice mass will stay colder longer. And then there's no water sloshing around in your cooler if you use something like this. When these do start to melt, you can take the cap off and pour it out, or you can drink it in a pinch. It might taste a little bit like grape juice. But it's much better and much more effective than cubed ice. Another thing that really helps with a cooler like this is organization. Now I use baskets like this in this cooler because there aren't any baskets specifically made for this cooler available. But even if there were, using a basket like this or a Rubbermaid or Tupperware tub down in the bottom will keep things a lot more organized. And also, you can grab this, pull it out, mess with it while you keep the door closed. So there are also a number of things that you can do to get the most performance out of a fridge like this. First of all, you keep it covered. If you have one of those reflective space blankets, those work really well, or a tarp or a blanket or anything. Don't leave it in your hot car if you're out doing something. Bring it out and put it in the shade. Definitely keep the lid cold as much as possible, and then it also helps to load it with stuff that's already cold directly out of your fridge. And it really does help to get a bag of spare ice and pre-cool it before you load it. Also try and keep the void space down as much as you can inside the cooler because the air is going to make things cool off a little bit faster. One thing that we suggest to fill up that void space, carrots and hummus. This season Canyon Coolers has sent us this hard cooler to use. Now Harry took us epic road trip to Alaska last summer with a 110 quart cooler from Canyon, and he was able to keep all of his food cold and most of his dry food too because it was so big. We're testing the much more reasonably sized 55 quart cooler, which retails for only $230. Canyon Cooler is based out of Flagstaff, Arizona, and for the past 10 years has offered Roto-Molded coolers with a full lifetime warranty. This is the 55 quart cooler, and this is what we'll be testing this year, which comes in this beautiful blue. Right off the bat, there are a few things about this cooler that I really like. It's got a really low profile design. The sides are really straight. The handles don't stick out at all. For handles, it's got these really nice rope handles as well as a finger handle right here. It's got tie down points right here for a strap, as well as a place to actually lock the whole thing closed if you have a lock with a big U-bolt on it. The front latches are easy to open and close, made out of rubber. It has a rubber O-ring here all the way around it and a raised lip right here. For organization, there's a lip right here on the inside, and Canyon makes a special basket, a wire basket that fits right in here. which I'll be getting as well. So on most trips, we also need a second cooler, or for day trips, we use a cooler like this, soft cooler from REI. We've had this for a number of years. Obviously, it's seen some miles, but it's a really good size and has these nice pockets on all sides, and most importantly, a strap so you can throw it over your shoulder and easily carry it to the beach. A cooler like this will also be really easy to stuff into the truck in a place where a hard cooler might not fit. And the kids won't have this thing clonking around, bonking them in the head or the feet, or damaging the plastic or any other stuff that you might have in your truck. So Canyon also makes these great soft-sided coolers, and they've been kind enough to send us this one to test this summer along with the hard cooler. They come in 20 quart and 30 quart versions. This is the 30 quart version. The 20 quart retails for $150, and this retails for $170. They have this nice flat pocket in the front, D-ring hooks, and they have a bottle opener for your root beers. Nice sturdy handles on the side, a really nice strap, and on the back there is this little bungee for strapping down extra items like water bottles.
So while it might seem excessive, I actually have 3 different freezer fridges, and they serve specific purposes for me. So this is Dometic CFX series, ARB's Classic series, and ARB's new Zero fridge. There's some features that these all have in common, and really you want to look for in any high-end fridge when you're shopping. So those include things like a real efficient Danfoss compressor. All of these run about 1 amp an hour once they've come to temperature. The other thing you want to look for is, does it accept both 110 and 12 volt input, so you can use it at home if you want to? And does it have thermal protection, so your vehicle's battery won't be drained, leaving you unable to start it should your fridge keep running. So this is ARB's Classic fridge in a 50 quart size, and this is the first freezer fridge that I ever purchased. I've had it for about 10 years now, and it's served me really well in a variety of vehicles. I think if you only get one fridge, something in this size makes a lot of sense. It's big enough that it has a good amount of storage, but small enough that you can still pick it up. It's about 50 pounds empty, move it from vehicle to vehicle, in and out of your house or your car. Some of the features that I like about this are the handles are really robust, easy to tie down. The lid is actually removable. You can pop it off. It's got an LED light inside, a drain plug. It comes with a basket. So this retails for about $1,000. That doesn't include the transit bag, which is one of the things I actually kind of don't like about it, to be quite honest. You can see where it's sort of peeled, the Velcro, over time. But the transit bag is nice. It keeps it from getting scuffed up, and it really adds an extra layer of insulation, which is more important in a cooler than a fridge, but it still allows it to operate more efficiently, not draw as much power. So I think it's a worthwhile purchase. So this is a Dometic fridge. This is the CFX 28, the smallest in the CFX lineup. And I got this specifically for my tracker, which is small and light, so this kind of fits the theme. Costs about $700. Dometic makes them in a variety of sizes. They tend to be just a little bit less than the ARB fridges cost. A lot of the same features in terms of the compressor, LED light inside, drain plugs, things like that. A couple features that I like about this, it has actually a USB outlet, which I thought was kind of hokey, but my tracker only has one 12 volt outlet, so when the fridge is plugged in, that's the only way I can charge my phone, so it really does come in handy. I also like this transit bag much more than I like the ARB one. It just uses zippers to come off and on, so it's really easy to clean and remove. The latch I don't think is quite as good on the Dometic as it is on the ARB Classic. The other thing I don't love are the handles. So they're exterior, they're not recessed, they have a hinge in them. So I've used them to lash it down and it hasn't been an issue yet, but having a fixed handle versus one that will move, I think makes it a little bit stronger on the ARB. But I've no complaints about this fridge. It keeps my food cold and has worked like a charm ever since I got it. The newest freezer fridge on the market is ARB Zero Line. This is available in 2 sizes in single zone and 2 sizes in dual zone. You'll notice we have the biggest one of them all here. So 101 quarts, it's twice as big as my ARB Classic. And what that's done for me is allow me to take it in my Ram that has a slide-in camper and basically double the fridge size, which gives me more time in the backcountry. This has, as I mentioned, dual zones, so dual lids. The lids are removable. You can switch which side they go on. One side is smaller than the other because of the compressor packaging, but you can set this up to be both freezers, both fridges, one fridge and one freezer. You can turn one half off. Some other features I really like about the new Zero line is very square, reinforced edges, so you don't have to worry about them rubbing against anything. It has 12-volt outlets on both sides, and then the controls in a 110 outlet just on one side. You can actually use an app that'll allow you to control the temperature, monitor the temperature, and also monitor your voltage, which is really nice. I admit this is gigantic. If I was gonna buy one freezer fridge today, I would buy an ARB Zero fridge in their 47 quart size. It's really not that much more expensive than the Classic, and I think it kind of checks all the boxes.
Well, that's what we know about coolers and fridges. We don't spend a whole lot of time obsessing over it and getting crazy with it, but we do have a lot of experience with these options and we know what works for us. What do you use to keep your food cold when you're on the trail? What works for you? Let us know in the comments, we'd love to hear it. Also, Harry's starting his own channel here on YouTube called Harry Situations. I'll post a link in the bottom and you can go check that channel out and subscribe over there. It's gonna feature a little bit more hardcore rock crawling content, so stay tuned. After the credits here, I'll show you a teaser of his cool Chevy Tracker rock crawler that we shot a couple weeks ago.
My name is Harry Wagner from Harry Situations, and you see a lot of walk around videos. They seem to be popular these days, so we're gonna do a walk around video on my tracker, and maybe we'll do a little ride around later too. So we've got the rear unlocked right